Moses Burks is here, and she's going to be a part of this choir. And it was just like she become the primary singer. Nothing that we did. It was just God moving. It just happened. And we love her so much.
Absolutely.
She was a wonderful, even though she was also Reverend Combs. I said he called her pastor. She called her pastor. Him pastor. He would call her pastor. When we was on the bus, but she always had a word from the Lord. And just like Reverend Combs, if Reverend Combs wasn't with us, there was no doubt that prayer service we had. Listen, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in our traveling, when we were traveling on the bus, so when we were away from home on Sunday morning, we had Sunday school.
Wow.
We had a Bible lesson. Every time before we start, we pray. When we stop, if it's just for a few minutes, we pray. Pray, and that was what they instilled in us. Reverend Coleman and Moses Burks. It's just like that God just added her on, said, okay, this is what was Moses to Aaron to Moses? Trina? Like
I'm sorry?
Like Jerry was Frank to Frank.
Yes.
You know, and that's the way she was to me, to Reverend Combs. She was
right.
She was just a great, wonderful addition that God blessed us with.
And he was truly a blessing. When after Frank died, and Jerry Smith is eloquent in when he talks about when Mosey joined, but he says that when Frank died, we knew that we needed another major lead singer to not to take his place, but to fill in that gap that his death created. So Jerry went to Mosey and asked her to join the choir, and Mosey, to this day, she is one of the most, because Frank was I think the most humble person that I have ever met. But Mosey was so humble, and even in her popularity, she was always astounded by why people were so drawn to her and taken to her. But when Jerry brought her and said, "I want Mosey to be in this choir," she said, "I'm not worthy." Mosey Burks said, "I'm not worthy." But like Lillian said, it was like God just chose her to put her in that spot. And she would light up a room whenever she was around, as you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And she left a legacy before she left the organization that will be lasting forever. I mean, powerful. I mean, I don't care if it's going to be 10, 20, 30 years from now. When you hear her sing, you can't help but to get up and put all your troubles down in a garbage can and just shout and move forward.
That's right.
The power that comes from within.
Yeah.
The power that she delivers in her singing. And, since Mama been sick, that I've led one of her songs, but nothing compared to what she puts in it. It's she was just a jewel.
Yeah.
Yes, she's a jewel.
Yeah. And she was great. And so what is the next for Mississippi Mass Choir? Of course, you all are still very, very relevant. Your music is very, very relevant. What is the next as you all continue to move forward?
Before COVID, the choir was working on another project, and they were actually going into the studio, doing some recording, and they were looking, other songs as well. So trying to put together an album. So when COVID hit, it just kind of put a stop to all of that. But as soon as it's safe to be back out there, the choir is going to get back to work.
Right.
And the first thing would be, of course, the new album, the new project that they'll be working on.
And are you still
I think they actually have a single that they're planning on putting out pretty soon. Yes.
We do. There's a single that we recorded. Well, matter of fact, we recorded a couple of songs. Mm-hmm. And Jerry said in our last meeting that they've gone back in the studio to get ready to release the single, and then maybe we can work on finishing the whole project pretty soon, I hope.
How does young people continue to transform the mass choir, and how do you all seek out young people to make sure that the legacy continues?
The last time we had a membership drive, there were quite a few young people that ended up, becoming members. And there hasn't been any discussion as of late of taking in any new members, but that is definitely something that we probably need to visit because, the choir has been around, as you know, since 1988. And we're not as young as we were.
33 years, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, when you say that, it just doesn't feel like, Lillian, that it's been that long.
But it has.
We've lost quite a few of the members. And I'm sure that would be one of the things that we'll be working on, Willie, to replenish the numbers with younger people so that we can keep the legacy alive and going.
And I'm sure the challenge is always, too, there is some great talent among young people, but also want to also keep and maintain some part of the legacy of Mississippi Mass Choir, because when we pick up a song or we download a Mississippi Mass Choir song, we're expecting to get Mississippi Mass Choir sound. Okay, so I can see that being a challenge, to making sure that you continue to hold on to that legacy. And how do you do that, and how do you accomplish that with the generations changing so much, and the attitudes are different, the expectations are different, and all of that?
Right. I think one way to maintain that is through your writers. David is continuing to be a very relevant writer with the choir, and Jerry Mannery also has written several songs for the choir. So I believe that that's a part of it. And also, Jerry and David also reach out to other writers that are relevant at this time, that are, that have songs out there that are appealing to the younger generation. As I mentioned earlier, Anthony Brown and Group Therapy, he is an amazing writer. But Donald Lawrence has been someone that the choir has reached out to write songs too. So all of that plays into, keeping the sound, but at the same time, producing and putting music out there that's appealing to everyone, not just the me and the Lillian, but to the generation as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We have to. And then I have, I guess I can share this. Okay. I have, my daughter is in the choir, and my son is in the choir. He's been in the choir he's been in the choir 30 years.
Wow.
He joined the set. We did the second project. He joined when he was he must have been 18 now, Dream.
And he is amazing, an amazing singer. Just like his mama.
And you all have really built some careers too from the Mississippi Mass Choir. Can you tell us a little bit about those who went on to be soloists and built their own career? Of course, Miss Lillian has her own career also beyond the choir, and I'm sure there's others.
Right. Marva is another one. But Marva has been singing. Honey, Marva joined the choir when she was 14 years old, Lillian? She snuck in there. She loves to tell that story about how she snuck into the choir, but she is an amazing artist on her own right now. She is something else. She really is.
She has a family group.
Yes, she does. Marva has a family group. And there have been others that are continuing to do solos. They perform around the state, and they probably, but I think the most known ones would be Lillian and Miss Mosey and Marva. Those would be the ones. Oh, and Ben Cone. Worship. His group, yeah. He's out there with his group and doing very well. Last I talked to Ben, he was doing really well.
Yes.
Okay, well,
he's doing real well. So it's like, and of course, Jerry Smith has his own group too.
Exactly. Yes, Jerry has
the Children of Israel. Yeah. And David. Well, you said David. Mm-hmm. But it's been a lot of offsprings from from Mississippi Mass.
But David and Jerry, they've had their groups for a long time. Yeah. So, and we've had several members from their groups that are also part of the Mississippi Mass Choir.
Okay, wonderful. Now I want to take a break a moment, and Angela, bring you in the conversation, because we got a lot of things that are going on at Margaret Walker Center that I want people to get an alert on. I mean, some exciting stuff that you can get virtually and be a part of. So tell us about some of the activities that are coming up at Margaret Walker Center.
Yeah, for 15 years, we have hosted what was called the Creative Arts Festival. We've now rebranded it as the Creative Arts Scholarly Engagement Festival. Last year was the first time we didn't have it, and that was because we were on COVID lockdown at the time. But this weekend, starting tomorrow, April 9th, we will be having our Creative Arts and Scholarly Engagement Festival. We are featuring writer and scholar Kiese Lehman, author of the critically acclaimed memoir, Heavy. He's actually the son of Dean Mary D. Coleman, who was a longtime dean at Jackson State University. And he's a graduate he attended Millsaps College here in Jackson, and he is a dynamic writer and speaker. But the key part of our festival is student participation. So all day Saturday, we will have students presenting papers, sharing their artwork, doing spoken word.
Wow.
But in terms of particular things, tomorrow evening, we will have a conversation about the man who lived underground. Richard Wright originally wrote a long short story, something that was called a novella at the time, and he called it The Man Who Lived Underground. And most of your literary anthologies that highlight short stories include The Man Who Lived Underground. But Richard Wright had envisioned it as a novel. So his publishers have decided to issue on April 6th a expanded edition of The Man Who Lived Underground. We will have a Zoom plenary from 2 to 3:50 p.m. tomorrow, featuring Julia Wright, the daughter of Richard Wright, Kiese Lehman, Kevin Powell, and if you are into the real world, which is back on television on Paramount Plus, Kevin Powell is featured in that. Dr. Jerry Ward, who's a world-renowned Richard Wright scholar, local poet Charlie Braxton, and my favorite Kwanzaa co-host, Celie McInnes, will be moderating that discussion as they talk about the man who lived underground. You can go to Margaret Walker Center's Facebook page beginning at 2, and that event will be from 2 to 3:50. You can also go to our website, which is jsums.edu, Margaret Walker Center, all one word. And on there, you will find our full schedule of events. We will also have a spoken word and visual art reception virtually via Zoom plenary with Amanda Furge Shelby, providing music. And then, as I mentioned, all day Saturday from 8:30 a.m. until 3 o'clock p.m., we will host student papers. And you can register online to participate in the student presentations. We will end out with Professor Celie McInnes and Dr. Anita DeRohan, and with a closing conversation and awards program. We will be awarding $1,000 to the JSU student with the best paper on the African American experience in the South. We will also be offering for the first time a $500 prize for the best visual art presentation, and that prize is being offered by Dr. Doris Derby, formerly of Georgia State University, who worked here at Jackson State with Margaret Walker in the 1970s.
Wow.
Oh.
And all of these events are free to the public, right, Angela?
The information.
All of these events are free to the public, so
All
even
these
there's
events are free. They are supported by the Mississippi Arts Commission, the Greater Jackson Arts Council, Jackson Free Press.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate their support in allowing this to be a free event. And like I said, it's a wonderful way for students to showcase their creative arts as well as their scholarly endeavors.
Well, thank you, Angela, for sharing that, and mark your calendars for that event that starts tomorrow, because
tomorrow and
Saturday, and make sure you share it with your young people also, so they can get registered and engage with it. And so this is a great this cultural experience that's being offered by Margaret Walker Center is always amazing and engaging. It is worth your time to get registered, and it's an annual. These annual events come across once a year. So please get connected to it and be part of it. You've been listening to the Women for Progress radio show, and we've been talking with Miss Katrina Belton Williams and Miss Lillian Lilly, who are both of the Mississippi Mass Choir. And we've been talking about its rich history and what it had not only has meant to gospel music, but what it has meant for to the state of Mississippi and to all of us across this great country. Because it doesn't matter if you're in Mississippi, in the Delta, or you out in Los Angeles, California, or you in San Francisco, or you down in Florida, or you in the Midwest, you know the Mississippi Mass Choir. You've been touched by it in some way. And anybody who listens to a song from Mississippi Mass Choir and not touched in some way, we need some prayer for that, folks. Yes, indeed. So this has been a lasting legacy and continuing legacy that continues to inspire us and uplift us. We thank you all both for joining us tonight. As a matter of fact, when I get home, I'm going to pull out my Pandora and look. I'm telling my age because I don't think young people are doing Pandora anymore. But pull out my Spotify and Apple Music and try to get tuned in to a little bit of Mississippi Mass Choir music tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And now that we've met you, Miss Lillian, who's still a soloist for the choir, we're going to be looking for you too, and looking for your name and some of your solo efforts.
God bless. Be appreciative. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much, Angela. Thanks so much for co-hosting tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to be
with
you.
This is wonderful.
Amen.
All right, we're going to wrap up our conversation. We're down at the bottom of our hour. I just want to also mention today we had DSE Training Academy and Mississippi Coding Academy has created a partnership where we're going to be putting a satellite location for Mississippi Coding Academy right here in South Jackson. We are so excited about this new launch and this new partnership where we're going to be putting people through skills training to be coders. For higher paying careers. It's an amazing opportunity. And it's cost free. So the 11-month program is cost free to those participants who are selecting. Awesome. So the recruiting process starts now. We want you to go to MississippiCoding.org's website, or either go to DSE Training Academy website at DSETrainingAcademy.com or DrivingYourFutureMS.com. DrivingYourFutureMS.com, and there's information on where you can connect with us and sign up and for consideration for the slots that's going to be available. We're going to have a day class and a night class at both campuses. There's a campus downtown. You can choose to go downtown, or you can choose to be right here on 55 South in the heart of South Jackson. we're so excited about this effort because what it means to South Jackson, for what it means for the city of Jackson in the state of Mississippi. This capacity to really increase the wage opportunities for individuals in the state of Mississippi. We're going to be targeting women. We're going to be targeting young people. There are a lot of young folks who decide not to go the 4-year route in a 4-year regular college, but want to make the pay that you can make having that degree. And coding does provide those opportunities. So we're going to be continually sharing that effort on how you can get connected, the workshops that we're going to be, the enrollment workshops that you'll have an opportunity to access. But the first step is to reach out to us. We're open here at DSC Training Academy Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us. We have some incredible people that are waiting to walk you through the process, to share information with you. And we're also, I just want to remind you, we're also doing truck driver training. What these two industries have in common is higher wages, the future of the skills that's going to be needed in the workforce, and essential jobs. And great benefits and opportunities. So I can go on and on, but we're at the bottom of our hour, so I'm going to wrap up. But feel free to reach out to us. Our telephone number here at DSC is 601-351-5858, 601-351-5858. The website, MississippiCodingAcademy.org, or either drivingyourfuturems.com. And that live lunch presentation and press conference that went on this morning, is on the Women for Progress website. You can go to videos and click it. It's there. Also, it's on the DSC Training Academy Facebook page. The Women for Progress Facebook page and the DSC Training Academy Facebook page. If you go to videos on either one of those pages, you can find out all the details of that launch and that activities that went on this morning within our press conference, and find out more information about what we talked about this morning. So thank you so much. This has been Women for Progress Radio. Thanks so much to our guests and our co-hosts, and we'll see you next week at the same time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.